Mantra 11 will be happening in Tuscany. It won't be at my home per se, but it'll be about an hour away in a town called Monteriggioni, which is very near Siena and absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. The venue is gorgeous. It's a venue that was intended as a space for spiritual growth, learning, and exploration. And it's just phenomenal. Last year, we brought our Vinyasa Krama module to the retreat, the in-person portion, I'll say, not retreat. This year, we are coming together with not only the students from the 300 hour, but also the students from the 200 hour, which will be happening basically simultaneously to this training. All of us come together as a greater community to dive into Dharma. Dharma, uh, very, very simplified, is our soul's reason for being, our soul's reason for being born in this body at this time in history, wherever your body happened to come into being, into that particular family, socioeconomic background, whatever it happened to be. Your soul has a mission that it is here to accomplish. And everyone accomplishing their unique mission or purpose or aligning themselves with their reason for being contributes exactly what is needed from that individual to benefit the greater whole. So, whatever it is that really lights you up, that you have a natural affinity for, where your talents and skills lie, where your interests and passions lie, the way that life seems to be herding you into a particular direction, the obstacles that you have encountered that have maybe bumped you back to a particular path, things that you have stubbornly insisted on that just continue to grow more and more cumbersome, burdensome. All of this is sort of nature's way or the divine's way of encouraging you to come into your purpose and to align every day, every choice, every word, every thought, every action with that purpose, with that reason for being. It's not so simple as a career choice. It's less of a what and more of a how. How are you engaging with life that is aligned with your spiritual DNA? There will be relationships, career paths, hobbies, things that you engage with that make it easier for you to fulfill your purpose in life. But it could be argued that you could fulfill your soul's purpose just as thoroughly as a clerk at a grocery store as you could singing on stage in front of millions of people. It's all about how you are fulfilling your purpose. So there's that. We'll look at more than just Dharma. We're going to look at the Purusharthas and give Dharma that particular context. The Purusharthas are the desires of the soul, and not just the desires of the soul, but Artha, Purusha is soul, and Artha can be understood as the means, the necessary resources that we need to gather or bring into alignment in order to fulfill the soul's desires. We will lean into Rod Stryker's book and methodology called The Four Desires, but I have been engaging with this work now since 2016. And so it really has become a part of me. And so I share from that experience as well. So a little bit of Rod, a little bit of my first teacher, Tracy, a lot of me coming through, and then all of this grounded in our tradition. We will look at your soul's desire, not only for purpose, but for the means, everything that is required for your soul to fulfill its purpose. That might mean food, shelter, clothing, money in the bank. It probably will include that, but it also will likely include things that may be a little bit unexpected. For me, as someone who really tries to share joy as much as possible, also to share clarity and stillness and a more compassionate perspective, I have to align myself on a daily basis so that I'm as established in that as I can possibly be in order to share from a space of just a space that is genuine. So things like quality time with my dog on a daily basis, really important to me. My practice, I have to be practicing. If I'm not practicing, then I'm going to be sharing from a place that's a little bit out of alignment or disconnected, or maybe just trying to share from a cup that is increasingly empty, not increasingly full. I also need simple things like a lot of quiet, as much peace as possible. I need to be able to be alone with my thoughts. All of this is necessary for me to be able to fulfill my purpose effectively. I also need to be in community in order to fulfill my specific purpose. So being connected, even though I need a lot of alone time, I also need connection that is genuinely satisfying on like a deep heart level, with people from all different walks of life that I can invest in and that will also be interested in investing in me. So you would be part of that community if you chose to participate in this training. It would be inevitable. But those are some of the things we'll look at. The other two desires that we have, that we come into this life with, are the desire for pleasure. This is so underrated in the world in general, but I think in particular in a spiritual path, we are often told that we can either be virtuous or have a pleasurable life, a pleasurable and affluent lifestyle. Our tradition suggests no, you don't need to make that choice. In fact, in order to have that fulfillment, that everlasting fulfillment that is internal, we also want to have a certain degree of external fulfillment so that our unmet desires are no longer a distraction. So, and also external fulfillment, pleasure, joy is often the best way for us to experience directly the beauty and the joy of the divine, the beauty and the joy of the most beautiful and joyful one. So our soul yearns for that, and it is our responsibility to invite it in and to engage with it with regularity until that desire is fulfilled. So there you go. The fourth desire is the desire for spiritual liberation, moksha. The word for the desire for fulfillment is kama. Sometimes kama also gets a bad rap. It's just misunderstood. And then we've got moksha. Moksha, spiritual liberation. This is that absolute freedom that we discuss. Other words for fulfillment and freedom are boga and apavarga, but we're going to talk about moksha specifically here as the word for absolute liberation on the level of the soul, completely unbound, untethered to anything that would keep us down. Most people attain moksha near the final stages of life, but it is something that we want to be moving toward every day, if possible. That really is the through line of the spiritual journey, is moving toward our soul's liberation and then eventual ultimate fulfillment where we get to be reabsorbed with the Divine Mother, absolute reality, universe, whatever word you like to use for it. Same. So we'll be looking at all of that. We will also be looking at your habits and patterns of thought and behavior that are very likely getting in your way. So any sort of self-fulfilling prophecies that you engage with, any sort of self-sabotage, ways that you dismiss or downplay your given talents, skills, any way that you may dismiss or downplay what you really want in life. We're going to try to highlight those patterns as well so that we can begin to eliminate them and replace them with something that is more aligned with what your soul is doing here in the first place. So all of this will be happening in the beautiful Tuscan springtime, nourished by incredible plant-based food that is predominantly harvested right there on the property, in a gorgeous shala, in phenomenal company. It just doesn't really get any better than that. So that is module 11, Dharma. Heed your calling. Don't just identify it. Do it.